Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Introduce yourself as usual. Now, just quickly, let me say this. The questions we are going to ask here is both for married and single. So, married persons can send their questions in. Please, my people who are the other side who will be sending me the question, please forward the question to me on Telegram. Okay, questions are already flowing. I have 3 questions here, and I want us to be as fast as possible. So I want to wait for the next 5 minutes. Good evening, Rose. Oladunjoye Rose. Adeola Olofin. Kehinde Ilesami. Fasheun Florence. Let us know where you are joining us from. Give us a like, a share, a comment. All right. We have to be at least 50 before I start. So wakey. And I have a meeting right after now. Victor, Toby, good evening. God bless you from Kwara State, Kwara State. Let us know where you're joining us from. Akombi, Victoria's from Ado-Ekiti, from Ado-Ekiti, Florence. Global Victory. There is no meeting I'm doing online. I won't see Victory there. So Victory deserves an award all the way from Oye City. Where is there's another lady from Oye that competes with you, Victory. Where is what's her name? Lydia, yes. Where's Lydia? Blessing Oyewole from Lagos. God bless you. Lagos people, I want to come and do a meeting, but you people there, you are not interested. You people are not interested. So you guys are really interested. We dropped the link and not too many people responded. I was trying to come to Lagos about 3 to 4 times this year, but I mean 2 to 3 times this year, but Agbolabatada from Lagos, Pastor Sheung, Ajibari. Man, we need to wake people up. There are questions here. Alright, watch out for the link. The admin will do that today or tomorrow. Dio, how are you? I'm looking for people who will tell me they need an access in Lagos, but not too many people seem to be interested too. Or just something came in from Oye Ikiti. Awesome. These Oye people, they are representing you. Alright. Still waiting. I'll wait like 2 more minutes and then I'll start. Okay. So let me start answering questions because since I'm not teaching, so it's just fine. Whoever is able to join early, be fine. Number 1, have a partner whom is career oriented, and I am too, but she's a way more focused on career than I am. She fears I will limit her. Is there a way to reconcile our relationships and career goals for a blissful marriage? Yes. First of all, I want to believe that before you both step out on relationship, you believe this is a journey you should have together by way of conviction, being led by God. Having said that, that is foundational. Like I said, nobody lives on a foundation. As important as foundation is in your union or in relationship, nobody lives on a foundation. Okay, now, but the other part to it is you now need to move from foundation to communication. There's some conversations you must have, and you must honor that conversation the rest of your life. You know, I discovered that people who are in relationship don't really get to talk. All they do is just to eat out good, and many other things. But there are conversations that have a lot to do with how fulfilled you become in life and destiny. So sit down with that person, have a conversation with that person. All right, these are my dreams, these are my vision. All right, I don't want to be limited in this area. I want to go as far as God will empower me to go in my career, and I need to be beside me to support me, and what have you. And also, you need to show the demands in that conversation, the demands, the tendencies that these demands will come with in your career. So now, I haven't said that, knowing that this is where God is leading you to, then you both will find a place of compromise. But if it's not a journey you both even knew God was leading you to, then I think the first thing to do after having that conversation is to go back and say, were we supposed to be on this journey? All right, maybe that's why we're having clash of interest. If we're not supposed to be on this journey, then maybe we should just, in honor to ourselves, even though we love one another, but we know that this feeling we eventually not guarantee a future we'll be happy with, let us move on. Do you understand what I'm talking about? But if you are sure this is the person you should spend the rest of your life with, then you need to communicate about it. All right, whatever fear the person is dealing with can be dealt with conversation. Faith comes by hearing. One of the things you can't do is to have fear, all right, and faith cohabit in the same place. So faith comes by hearing. Give your faith to that person, that you will not be a limitation to whatever the person can become, in career. And part of that is that you must let the person know that you are highly secure to see them successful. You are really, really very secure to see them do well, to become all and the best that they can become under God. I hope that is clear. Number 2, you kind of have a relationship with a person and do what relationship people do, but I did not tag it as a relationship. But I've ended things with the person and I still have to face the person every day. I'm still considering the fact that I keep the person as a friend and it does not work out. But I'm kind of confused on what to do. Well, number 1, I don't know what relationship people do that you are talking about here. I really don't know. If what you think relationship people do is having sex together and sleeping together, that is what married people do. That's not what people in relationship do. And that will get you entangled in your life, and that's not a place you really want to be. Then secondly is that if you were in a situationship, like people call it, relationship you didn't plan, you just find yourself, and you need to break away from that thing, you might need to keep a distance for some time, because your emotion needs to be straightened up. So if your emotion is still not straightened up, all right, and you want to start keeping that person as a friend, I don't think it may be something you can handle that easily. So you'll be confused, of course. So keep a distance. Stop all this early morning call and evening call and those things you were doing together and say, well, we know we can't go out, but we are just best of friends and things like that. So keep away from those things. All right, go through the pain of detachment, all right, and then be healed from that connection. Then you can see that person for who they truly are, all right, or is to you in your life. I hope you got it. So my point to you is, don't keep friendship yet. Detach, disconnect. All right, you might be shocked that that person doesn't even need to be your friend at all in life. It's not like you needed that person to be your friend. It could be just somebody you will see and say, hey, hi, how are you? How are you doing? And all of that. Sometimes we keep people as friends just to compensate them for the contact we've had with them before. And that might be more expensive. And we have seen people who end up cheating on their spouses in marriage for a friendship they shouldn't have. All right. So the first thing you should do is that detach. Let there be healing in your soul. All right. And from that, you can now see that person correctly, where you ought to put that person. Do you understand? So that's what I think you should do. Number 3, a lot of people say one should pray for the kind of spouse he or she wants. What's the balance between that and praying for God's will? Well, somebody say you may get what you want, but you may not want what you get. You may get what you want, but you may later not want what you get. So, and it is possible for you to pray for what you want and get it, and you are second best. You have a second best of what God really wants to give you. All right. I was just talking with somebody before now that relationship was not my idea. I met my wife. Like I said, I met my wife quite early. It wasn't because I was in search for a woman, and there's nothing wrong about that. What I'm trying to say is, I want you to rather go to God and ask God, lead me to that spouse, that man, that woman, who will be in my life as an advantage towards what you have assigned for me in life and destiny to become. That's all. Rather than praying and say, Lord, give me this tall man, give me this doctor, give me. You may know what you want, and you may even get what you want. The question is, will you want what you get later? That's the question. When you finally get it, will it be what you want? Because when you find marriage crisis, you begin to wonder all kinds of crisis people end up having, and ask yourself, did these people ever had an history of where they love themselves and they are fond of themselves? How come they get to this bitter area? That is when they eventually got to a place where, even though they have gotten what they want, they no longer want what they get or got. So, my own prayer, my own way of asking, Lord, lead me to that woman, that man. All right, that will be an advantage in my life as I pursue your counsel for my life. It is not, Lord, give me somebody from Yoruba land, give me Hausa land, another. You see, I want to let you understand this. There are different kinds of prayer. And what do I mean by that? When you are praying prayer of consecration, which are prayers around destiny matter, things you do not know in full what the will of God is on that matter. When you are praying prayers like that on such matter, you pray that God will guide you into His best for you. All right. But when you are praying things that you already know, like healing, like supply, and all of that, all right, you pray specifically. You can come with a desire. So look at Jesus, for example. He was praying a prayer of consecration. All right, and says, Father, let this cup pass over me. Nevertheless, not according to my will, but your will be done. So, all right, yes, there's nothing wrong. Everybody has highs to appreciate good things, All right, we are encouraged to appreciate good things. But your ability to say, Lord, I appreciate these and these. But Lord, I know it's not about what I love. All right, I may get what I want now and later discover this is not even what fit into what I should have later in life. Lord, guide me into what you think is best for me. And that is a greater trust in God. That you trust God with your life, knowing that whatever He offers you is the best anybody could have given you. When you get to that place, all right, I tell you, you'll be happy you let God lead you. And that's just it. You'll be happy you let God lead you. So that's my answer. And of course, because sometimes God's will doesn't tick your boxes. Your boxes changes with time. I'm telling you. When people talk, when you say, this thing that God do, and nobody will tick all your box. There is no how you can have all the box ticked at the same time. No. If it appears that way, eventually you later discover that other boxes that appeared in your life later that were not ticked. So, what do I cancel? Let God lead you. Alright? And the leading of God will offer you the best version of whatever spouse anybody could have given you. Do you understand what I'm talking about? So that's my answer. Hello, Daddy. I noticed that as a guy, I've always been more attracted to light-skinned ladies. Now, having understood that it goes beyond physical appearance and all that, sir, is it wise to marry God's way who is probably light-skinned, so that you can satisfy your desire for light-skinned people forever, or rather marry another God's way who is dark-skinned, but you start seeing other light-skinned people as attractive after your marriage? Is it not good to just marry my desire once and for all? In this scenario, please watch your advice and the balance. Well, if you marry your desire once and for all right, then be ready to handle the complication that will come with your desire once and for all. That's what I would say. All right. Now, there's nothing wrong about liking light skin. Let me share with you. I never like a light skin person. I'm attracted to dark ladies personally. All right. I used to before I got wedded, but today, either you are dark or you are light, makes no difference to me right now, because number one, I have seen life from a better perspective. Okay, when you begin to see life from a better perspective, you start seeing it from light and dark side. You begin to see life from value, from peace, from progress, from joy, and you stop seeing light and dark. I tell you. So that's the first thing I want to say to you. All right. Number two is that you cannot say there's a light completion will of God and a dark completion will of God, because that is you trying to cover what the will of God looks like. The will of God is total surrender to God. God, lead me. All right. And it doesn't mean if God will lead you to a dark complexion person. Truthfully. All right. It may lead you to a light complexion person. It might be that God put that desire in your heart. Okay. And that's for a person who is truly working with God. Okay. And because in your choice of light complexion person, you might not be so sure. There are many cream today that can make somebody look like light complexion person. You might not be so sure that the skin you are running after is not light. It's when you start giving birth to your children and you discover that your children is as dark as charcoal. And you are wondering what's happening. Okay, so you might not be so sure. My covenant friend is a light complexion person. The wife never liked a light complexion person. All right, but she's grateful that she married a light complexion man today because of what that man stood for in her life. All right, I'm telling you. So all this, can I go for a white complexion will of God instead of going for a dark complexion will of God? No. There's only one directional will of God. Okay, for you. I know that I told you there's no one woman for you for life, but there's one woman God is leading you to part time. God will not lead you two ladies part time. Hello, God will not lead two men part time. There's only one woman God is leading you to part time. The only time God changes that is when that woman turns you down and God says you should move on. Then you can lead to another woman, all right, or that person passes on. All right, it's one directional. It's not multi-directional. You cannot choose. You choose light complexion will of God, dark complexion will of God, Jacob complexion will of God. Are you a polygamist? God doesn't think like a polygamist, though. So that's not it. Okay. If you really let God lead you, it won't start with light complexion or dark complexion. If you let God lead you, what will eventually matter to you is what God says to you. And if it turned out to be a light complexion, glory to God. If it turned out to be a dark complexion, glory to God. I told you, there was a time I was sharing in church. I have a brother who we were, was he blockmate when we were in school, part one. And he knew that God was leading him to a lady who is dark complexion. I really love the light complexion lady. They are married together. They are in the US, and he's enjoying and it's not just that God didn't give him a light complexion lady. God gave him a dark, like black lady. People who are black and shiny lady kind of hair. Melanin will of God. Okay, all right. That's what God gave him. He was happy. He followed my counsel when they got wedded. All right. And he will have been locked up in the zone of looking for one light complexion lady. It doesn't mean there are no good complexion lady, but God might not have prepared the one that is around you that can lead to you. God might not have prepared that kind of person to fit into the program He has for your life. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Don't forget this. God can only lead you to one person at a time. All right. God doesn't lead you to two people. God doesn't tell you can choose this or choose this or choose this. No, God doesn't do that. Okay. He leads to one person at a time. And then from there, if it didn't work, it can lead to another person. You made mention of respecting a woman who decides to keep her child if she got pregnant out of wedlock. What of those that had to abort because they knew the family they came from and situations, also the fact that they haven't come into the reality in Christ? Yes, the focus is, what I'm saying is, if you had a child out of wedlock, or you had a child, you got pregnant and you aborted, what I'm trying to say is that you should not be seen in the light of your past. Okay, some of us all right, who didn't fall into the victim of what you went through, all right, we're not that we were better. Some of us probably were just, I don't like to use that word, we're just fortunate, as it were, all right, because the path many of us had walked in, if medicine didn't catch up with some of us, we would have done worse. So what I'm trying to say is this, all right, don't let, because a lady has a baby in her life, or she had been pregnant and she aborted, be the reason why you won't go forward. The lady, I was talking about, a daughter of ours who aborted and all of that. She has a baby today. She had delivered a baby. In fact, it was this month, January rather, that she had that baby. So they moved on. They are fine. They are in the UK. They are great. They have a good life. What I'm trying to say is this: don't let one mistake, all right, because the one who had the baby, a living baby, and the one who aborted the baby, they who both had a baby, all right, came out of their body. One just came out as a dead baby, the other came out as a living baby. That's the way I see it. So, and I want to celebrate the courage of somebody who had a living baby, all right, no matter what, all right, despite what could come out of it, all right. I want to encourage that courage, all right, that the person had. And then also the reason, because there are many other reasons why some people had children out of wedlock, as it were. You can't justify it. Okay, I have a daughter, all right, she wasn't very smart at the season of her life. She was going to get wedded. They were going to have introduction. I think they've even done introduction. She got pregnant for the guy. The guy died, and then she had a baby out of wedlock. All right, she probably could have married that guy now today. Maybe that wouldn't have been the best of all marriage. But I'm trying to say that eventually people probably wouldn't have seen that she had a baby out of wedlock. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is this: the balance to this is, no matter what side you belong, nobody should reduce you to your past. Okay, you have grown, you have changed, God has healed you, God has delivered you. Some people who had pregnancy out of wedlock had because they were just deceived into it. I mean, some guys are just messenger of the devil, like Paul said, he prayed that he would depart from him thrice. They are messenger of the devil like that. They are torn in the flesh, all right, and you were gullible. Some people could have listened to counsel, they didn't listen to counsel. But what I'm trying to say is this, all right, especially if you have found a place like NLCC where we teach God's word, where we tell you who you are in Christ, where we separate you from your past, where we let you know if any man be in Christ, a new creature, all things are passed away, all things have become new. When all those things are truly there and they are grounded in your soul, it won't matter what it is that you have gone through in the past. Are you following what I'm talking about? A new you is what we have on ground now. We should see you in the light, all right, of that new you that can, move forward progressively in a new direction with another person. That's what I mean by that. Thank you. Sir, how do couples handle the situation when one partner is falling out of love? Wow. Well, I do not know the extent of falling out of love that you mean. All right. Because there's a lot of, so I would advise this person to seek for counseling, because if falling out of love means the feeling is no longer there, the question I will ask that person is, what are the things that were in that relationship that sponsored the connection you had that is no longer there? Go back to those things. 2, seek for counseling. 3, it might be spiritual. Pray. All right. So because if this person is not just out of love, but is falling in love with somebody else, then it's complex. So this is not a question I can handle. I can just answer directly like that. This is a question that you will need to talk to somebody about. Okay? Number 7, she loves you. She's the spec. Your head is in the game, but your heart is not convinced. Should I go on? No. No union can work with one person in love. Both of you must be in love. All right. And the idea of being in love, like I said, should be deeper than what you feel. So I think your heart is wiser than your head. All right. Your heart is wiser than your head. All right. Because really, emotion is one thing, but sense is necessary as well. I like her. Okay. Yes, you like her, it's fine. But if your heart, if what you are saying is that your heart is not convinced, and you're not talking about your heart as emotion, but your heart as conviction, all right, take your time to check it out. All right, she loves you. What does she love about you? That's the question. What is it that is pulling you in now that makes you feel like, hey, you know, I'm in love? Is it? I don't know. You need to ask that question, but let your heart be there. Let your heart be there. Let your heart be. Let your conviction be there. All right, and that conviction should be by the Spirit. Number 8. Good evening, Daddy. How do you deal with a brother that seems to care, kept asking about marriage plans from the sister, but has not said anything yet? Should such sister ignore the brother, or what? All right. First of all, nobody has that right to be. Your marriage plans are private plans to you. So if he cares and he asks for marriage plans, I think the next question is, excuse me, brother, who are you in my life? Who are you to be asking me marriage plans? Okay? Because I have seen that some brothers just lack the wisdom of boundary. All right? You know, I'm telling you, you hear things like, can I toast you because you look like my toast bread? You know, and things like that. And sisters sometimes make conclusion easily, you know. We just make conclusion easily because maybe love is something you have always longed to have. Every young girl, when you put girls at babyhood, at childhood rather, together, and you ask them to play, they always play around carrying a baby at their back, doing husband and wife and what have you, you know. So I'm getting to an age where you are waking to the consciousness that you want to be loved and you want to love others also. Can put you in trouble if you have somebody who is just looking around you, saying things. All right, see, it's safer for you. You are not just jumping. If somebody is saying things and your head is thinking outside the box, so what's he trying to say? It's safer for you to say, young man, young brother, I appreciate you. Please, what is this all about? Okay, it's safer. Because some sisters are locked up in this idea of somebody's trying to say something, you look away from somebody who really wants to say something. All right, apart from somebody who is always trying to say something but who never says anything. Okay, so ask questions. All right, that's my own, you know. In relationship, one person doesn't like much talk, and the other prefers it. But when that person said the talk should be brief, other get angry and begins to give attitude. This keep occurring, and it's an headache to both because they will eventually have scores to settle. The relationship is getting tiresome. What is the way out? Well, in relationship, actually, somebody does more of the talking where somebody does more of the listening. It's just like that. God is a way to balance things out. All right. And my own opinion, if you can't resolve this, because you will do more talking when you get married though. If the talk is tiring now, my question, my counsel is, if you can't resolve this and be accepted for your talking, all right, and the other person be accept to listen, or to switch, you know, what do you call it, rule, maybe you should not go ahead though. All right, especially women, even the most quiet of them still want to talk with the one they are in love with. All right, well, seldomly we find men who also do the talking, you know. But what I'm trying to say is this: please don't compromise on matters like that. If communication is not working between you both, and you have done all you need to do and it's not working, please, I think you should not continue in that relationship. The least worry you should ever have when you're in a relationship with a person is to be, or married to a person, is to be worried that, will I be able to talk to this person? Once is a worry, please don't go ahead. I'm telling you, you don't want to get to a place where you are thinking, will I be able to talk to this person? One is a worry that you have to say, will I be able to talk to this person? Will I be able to be myself with this person? Please sit down and settle this call. Settle it well. Well. No, it's not something you should compromise on, because the lifeline of every love relationship is communication. I tell you, once it's not guaranteed, that relationship is dead on arrival. All right, it's not guaranteed. All right, and I don't think somebody truly loves you who is not willing to listen to you. All right, so let me also say this: any relationship where you both get more physical, all right, you probably will not be having, all right, real deep conversation, because you will think getting physical already tells you that you know each other. All right, and you only be talking on the surface. So my counsel to you is this: you don't run a relationship where you guys are getting physical. The moment you start getting physical, you stop knowing each other. The only part of you you'll be knowing is your body, and you will discover that it doesn't take time to know that part of you. But the real soul, the real person that is within you is your soul. Your soul. Your soul. So get to know how the person sees life, think, and what have you. So that's what matters. If you had a conversation, a conviction rather, if you had a conviction to stay with a lady with a terrible past in which she decided to work on, but after everything she goes back to the same past and apologizes, what do you do in such case, daddy? If you have evidences that this person is not healed from their past, don't go ahead with them. Don't be a messiah in this context. You want to help this person, drag that person to a man of God, a woman of God that can sit down with them and help them. So if you discover this person only going back to the past over and over and over and over again, I think in the real sense of it, don't go ahead. Don't go ahead. The reason is because once trust is not guaranteed in a marriage, the foundation is shaking. Later in future, even when there are things like blackmail, suspicion here and there, there's something to fall back on, because you always go, actually when I was even dating this girl, she's always go back to her past, go back to her past, go back to her past, and all of that. And that's one of the things God told me. He said, build your relationship with your fiancé when we're cutting on trust and love. And I've been able to bring my wife to a place where she can trust me. And that helped me a lot. I travel, do ministry here and there, relate with opposite sex, at different levels, daughters, ministers, and what have you. And my wife had never had to doubt maybe there's something, because also till now my phones are always open. She can read them, she can go through my chat. If sometimes I'm awake, I just wake up and find my wife reading through my phone, and it doesn't, but I'll just turn and turn the other and sleep off. You know what? Blood pressure, nothing. She has, I can open I use an iPhone. Just looking into my phone, it opens. I also open my phone. All right. When I was doing fingerprint open my phone, fingerprint open there was nothing to hide. So if there'll be issues later, please, I think you should hand over that person to a person that can help. Don't be the messiah in this picture. Okay? Alright. So I'm not sure that conviction is correct. It's correct. So it's correct. Yeah. Good evening. Especially if it's over and over again, that cycle of going back, and I don't know how bad that past is. So, but you've caught the person over and over and over. Yes, you will apologize. It's not enough that you say sorry. The matter is not sorry now. It's not that you are just saying sorry. Alright, can I trust you? Marriage is a very sensitive place. That's this person you'll be having sex with. This is the person that will be serving you food. This is the person, you want to get to the food and eat without even thinking. Alright, could somebody pour something inside this food? Sex is one of the most vulnerable things you can get involved with. You are highly vulnerable sexually. But that's why it's something God guided so much and said this should happen in the confines zone of marriage. So you don't want to go into all those integrity, alright, with somebody that you don't really trust. It's a dangerous zone for you. Really, really dangerous zone for you. Number 11, good evening, Daddy. At what point in our courtship do we start discussing crucial issues like children, sex, parenting, parent visiting, and what have you? I think you should talk about children. I think you should talk about parent visiting. But I think you should talk about sex when you start looking at the date of your wedding ahead of you. Alright? And I think that your conversation should be highly controlled when it comes to sex. Don't have sex in the discussion behind the closed door. In fact, in my own opinion, I feel that one best way to have sex conversation is when you have your counseling goes along that line. All right. When you go for marriage counseling and they talk to you around sex, the reason is because there are more temptation today on sexual matters. And let me say something to you. The moment you start sleeping together before marriage, your trust level is deflated. So you don't want to create a scenario where you start thinking that this person that cannot even stay around you in 5 minutes without touching me, how sure am I that this person goes with this, go out with this, or working with this person, is not sleeping with this person? So you don't want to go into that. So when your wedding day is fixed, you've gone for counseling, you started counseling, then they talk to you about sex. All right, then you can take the conversation further. Okay, what do you think about what they told us? All right, and all of that. So what do you think about sex and things like that? And I feel even a good counselor, all right, will try to prime you to let you to see what you think sex is all about. All right, so that they can help you, all right, have the correct mind. Please don't be too curious to know about sex. Curiosity is one of the things that can drive you faster into morality when it comes to sex, I tell you. And you know, there are informations everywhere that are not very true about sex. You see, you will not know it even if you search about it. It will not get you into trouble. All right, don't wake up love, all right, when you are not ready. So it's just keep it to where it is. Talk about other children, parenting, how many children you want to have, your plan, purposes, and there are many other things to talk about. Leave sex alone. Sex will come later. That's why you should come and do Pastor Shane says it's not in all marriage counseling that. So it's not in all marriage counseling that they talk about sex. I wasn't taught sex in my parents' church. Hey, but Pastor Shane, I taught you sex now. So I was the one that taught you people sex. Abi? So I taught my pastors, any pastor who married under me, I taught them sex. All right, and you know how much we know about sex. So, but then married in a church like NLCC, we take time to teach on sex, and we get involved. We call during the honeymoon, what's happening? Do it this way, do it that way. We do that. All right, but then, like I said, this is a balanced church. That's one thing I want to let you know about NLCC. You think about your finances, your sexual life in marriage, your deeds, and all of that. See, Pastor Adeori is here. All right, we taught her about sex. All right, we taught her about sex. So it's a balance. It's a balance. You don't have to. I can tell you, if you're an NLCC, you don't have to look out for external information about sex. We don't. You don't. You will get, and your curiosity will answer it. So, all right. But this is on the platform to talk to you about sex now. So, like I told you, don't get too curious and then you find yourself in trouble that you are not willing to. I did something recently. I called all my sons in the ministry who are not pastors under me. I was asking about their sexual life. Yeah, I called them. And that was late last year. All right, I called them. So you wouldn't know how much our pastors have been taught about sex. All right. Yes, that's why I want to believe that none of our pastors can be messing around. Married pastor can be messing around because we taught them. We sat down. All right, and all of that. It's a balanced church when it comes to, we taught you sex, finances, and all of that. Do you understand what I'm talking about? The church is sufficient. All right. See, Pastor is testifying. I was well taught, sir, and a good student, sir. And Pastor, they just taught many other people. So what I do is I teach a group of people. I taught many, in fact, almost every year I did a teaching with our couple on sex, with diagrams, with things and all of that. Almost I've not done it for quite a while now because I've had a lot of people who are well taught. All right, already. So there are married people coming here and I say thank God for NLCC. You see now. So I won't say more than that. So let's keep it. All right. Minister Lola will say I'm a good student. All right. So Pastor Uche is saying Daddy and Mommy taught us. You see. So so if all of your pastors, if you are in any church, any of our extension, and you are getting married, you will be well taught on sex. You'll be well taught on sex. Well. So Okay, Mr. Bode is here. They have been taught about sex. If Mr. Bode sit you down and teach you sex, you'll be alright. So, because I taught them, we taught couples, we did serious in-depth teaching. So that's my counsel. That's my counsel. Counsel. So in any sense, all these don't talk about sex. We talk about sex. We talk about family planning. We talk about everything. So, all right, don't worry. Your days are here. It is well with you, Mr. Kowalafe. Okay. All right. And that's why we don't force people to take our counsel. Even if that we say, should we counsel you? If you say no, we don't counsel you. All right, it is your wedding. But if you come for our counseling, our marriage counseling, and you allow us to teach you, you'll be glad. So, all right. So let's leave sex. So, 12. As a phlegmatic woman, I get intimidated by men who are choleric, and it has made me more interested in phlegmatic men. What do I do? Please, you'll be endangered to be a phlegmatic woman, and then you want to go for a phlegmatic man. Phlegmatic is not really a compelling temperament, so they are not pushy. Please, I don't even think God will lead you to a phlegmatic spouse, if a phlegmatic person. Please don't go for a phlegmatic spouse, so except it is God, and I don't think so. You will be small in life. If a phlegmatic man, God will give you a woman that can push you. If a phlegmatic woman, God will give you a man that can push you. All right, or else you'll be small. Okay, so what you call intimidated actually is not intimidated. It's just that you are not willing to be pushed. That's something about phlegmatic people. They don't want to be pushed. They don't want to be stretched. They don't want to be, and it takes being pushed to take the best out of you. Listen to me. There's so much you can become. If you're a phleg, you will not be maximized in life if you marry a phleg person. Just take it from me. You will not. May God never give you a phleg if you are phleg. It's not a good, no matter how romantic that person is, it's not good for you. It's not good for you. All right. You will just need to learn to appreciate that character that wants to get goals, achieve goals, go for the best, and what have you, and all of that. So please, I beg you, if you are phleg, may you never end up with another phleg. All right, you'll be so sluggish in life, but if you have a spouse that will drive you, and you must have a good attitude to that drive. So I don't think that your spouse doesn't respect you. I know that it's going to drive you. He or she is going to drive you to become the best. The phleg, the choleric especially, or melancholy, they don't look at the base life of life. They look at the top. And that's where a believer should look. And there's also a spirit-filled temperament, by the way. Some people have looked at me by action, and some of you will say I'm choleric. Some people who see me cracking just to say I'm sanguine. If you meet me, maybe if you have spent time with me like Pastor Kemi and all that, you say I'm melancholy. All right. So, and what's the difference? All right. The spirit-filled life. We are so difficult to be caged. All right. And all of that. We just allow the Holy Ghost to stir us and bring out the best out of us. And that's the way it ought to be. That's the way it ought to be. So develop emotional capacity, all right, to receive, a choleric, all right, or a choleric. So spirit control temperament. Okay. All right. Good evening, Daddy. We are very close friends, and we did not know we were already in a spontaneous relationship, and we were really connected to each other until we were told. What do we do now that we do know? Give yourself some space. Check out this feeling that you have. All right. You can fall in love with anybody. I tell you. You just need fellowship. Fellowship can make you fall in love with anybody. So, and that's why, just because you are in love, somebody is calling you in the morning, calling you at night, sending you gifts and things like that, is not a guarantee that you are making the right decision. Okay, you can. So what do? Give yourself some space and pray, and then don't just pray alone. Get somebody involved who has authority over you, and who can be candid with you, can look through the lens of, accuracy and precision, and tell you this is a choice you are making, and this choice is good for you. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Number 14. Good evening, Daddy. We got physical once in courtship and became attracted sexually. We have stopped seeing in dark places and all that, but we really want to get physical since then. What do? Get accountable. And let me say something to you. You can have a godly relationship, a God-given relationship, but if that relationship is not practiced on scriptural principle, you can have messes like this in your hand. Okay, so get accountable. All right, don't try to handle sexual temptation alone. That is actually pride. Yeah, I don't know what they would think of me. It doesn't matter what they think of you. Just get accountable. You don't know what we pastors have handled. Just because you slept with each other and it's a relationship you should have, doesn't mean we're going to break a relationship right there. If we perceive it's a good relationship, you were just careless with each other, we know what to do. We just help you out. All right? Do you understand what I'm talking about? You could be tempted. It's just that you were not wise with your temptation. So what do you do? All right? What do you do? So get accountable. That's all. That's what you should do. We keep breaking up and we are making makeup always. Daddy, this happen even on some trivial issues. What do? Go for counseling. Maybe that relationship is not supposed to be. Go for counseling. Anytime two people always have breaking up as the fastest route to whatever you share together, that is a sign that you people are not matured emotionally. Okay, so go for counseling. That's what my counsel is. Go for counseling. Get accountable. We'll be able to tell you, all right. Yeah, Dr. Nifemi, all right. Okay, let me take one more. If I have one more, okay, thank you. How do I set boundaries, sir? I didn't get physical in a relationship, sir. What do you mean by boundaries? Okay, boundaries is, number one, there are generic boundaries, okay? Things you shouldn't do with a man. For example, sitting on a lap of a man is wrong. Is a no. All right. When you are visited, not wearing the undergarment is a no. Those are boundaries. All right. Sleeping over are boundaries. Okay. So, what do you do first of all? Number one, it appears that you also have people in your life who find it easy to get physical. And what do I mean by that? If you have a man who find it easy to get physical with you, all right, and those are the kind of men you are getting, I want to go back into what kind of relationship you've been having. Foundation. Okay. Secondly is that it appears your relationship has not been, it has been a secret relationship. You'll not be accountable when it comes to your relationship. So you need to have an accountable relationship. Number 3 is you need to build deliberately walls that you will not cross. So for example, while it might be too extreme for some other people, it's not extreme for you because you know yourself. Is it okay for you to hold hands? Is it okay to have side hug? Is it okay for you to do this? Please, no matter how much strength you think you have, it's not okay for you to kiss or to peck. It will leave you. It will rearrange your brain. All the neurons and the nerves of your brain will just readjust. So it is not something you really want to do. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is that you need to okay, guy, I don't want to mess up. My past relationship were not so very good. So these are the things I want to do. All this sleepover, come and I can't do that. All right, then I will encourage you. Share accommodation with somebody so that there is no enough privacy that the enemy can work with to damage you sexually. You can encourage that person to share, accommodation. All right, don't have privacy. That, you know, Christians don't do sleepover now. What kind of, if you must do sleepover, let's say I have a flat, because I must tell you the truth, I was living in a flat, 3-bedroom flat, where I was planning to get wedded, and I had guys living in my house. So my fiancée then used to come around to stay. All right, but she has her own room, I have my own room, and there are guys everywhere. Then I'm coming out of that room 2 a.m. We lock the door, coming out of the room 2 a.m. What are we doing? All right, and even now, I may not even want to encourage that, because some people don't know how to manage, you know, whatever. Do you understand what I'm talking about? So what I'm saying in essence is this. All right, set your own boundaries beyond the general boundaries. All right, and also be accountable. Be accountable. All right, but the moment you start kissing, start rubbing yourself, so somebody's rubbing your lap and you're smiling, you are going small. All right, so don't, if it's getting insecure, that means that also your emotion need is weak. You are emotionally weak. You might also need to be strengthened. Now let me say something to you. I tell people, if you don't trust yourself sexually, take your time before you jump into another relationship. You don't have to be in a hurry to jump into another relationship. All right, that people do it doesn't mean it's something you really want to do. The effect on it eventually in your marriage is long lasting. Sexual purity, even if you had a bad past, but in your current relationship that leads to marriage, is eventually going to be to your advantage. Okay, so I counsel you to see it that way. You know, I counsel you to see it that way. No matter how bad it was, all right, have a relationship you can be proud of eventually when you get wedded. Let me take one more. I still have, I'll just take one more. Can I have one more? Is there any coming? Or we just close for the day? It's 1 minute past 8. Were you blessed tonight? Let me have your comment. What do you think? Like, share. Okay, one more question is coming in. I hope you learned something. Sorry, I'm not here to sound sensational. I'm telling you a fact. I just want to be genuine to you, so that, because some of you, if you have known some, I don't want you to get there later and say, okay, if I had known better. I just want to be clear and be sincere, all right, with you. That's all the question we have tonight. So we'll continue next week by God's grace. All right, throughout the month of February, we'll answer more relationship questions, you know. All right. So if I cancel that, you see, go for counseling, please do where to do that. Okay, do where to do that. Okay. So because all right. God bless you. I love you. Share. Don't forget to share, to comment, and to like. God bless you.